Hey guys, welcome to embodynourish. So I know that we all love food, we all love cooking, but there are days when spending hours in the kitchen isn't a priority. We have work, school, study, family, dogs and other life commitments that can make whipping up something fancy every day for lunch and dinner pretty impractical. So today I want to show you 4 plant-based recipes that are quick and easy to make, and they take less than 30 minutes as well. The best part about it is that the flavour and the healthiness isn't compromised. I'm so excited to show you these recipes, but before that, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys. And with that, let's get started. First up is this delicious and flavoursome kale pesto pasta. Let's prepare the water for the pasta, and while it's boiling, we're going to toast 1 cup of walnuts over medium heat. This step is optional, but it intensifies the walnuts' beautiful flavour and makes them crispier. Plus, I love it when the roasty aroma wafts its way around the entire house. Usually you don't have to toast them with oil, but because I'm not adding any oil to my pesto, I don't mind having some on the walnuts. If you want a nut-free substitute, try adding sunflower kernels or pumpkin seeds instead. Once the water has boiled, cook the pasta according to package instructions. I like to use curly pastas like fusilli and rotini for pesto because their spirals hold the sauce as well, but honestly, nothing beats using your favourite pasta. A tip is to save some pasta water, around a cup, to use in the sauce later. Drain the pasta and set it aside. You'll need 1 cup of fresh basil leaves, which will really brighten up the pesto sauce, and around 2 cups of green kale leaves pulled off the stems. Grab your food processor, or if you don't have one, a blender is perfectly fine too. Add in a 1/4 cup of pitted Kalamata olives. They're going to give a subtle, smoky, wine-like taste that's perfect for the pesto. Add in the kale, the basil, a 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, the toasted walnuts, and 1 cup of nutritional yeast. Squeeze in half a lemon and shake in some salt and black pepper. Blend until they're combined, but make sure it's not completely pulverized. I like to use the pulse button to get it to the consistency I want, which is a creamy, slightly crumbly texture from the walnuts and chopped up kale. Traditionally in pesto recipes we use olive oil to get that rich, creamy and smooth consistency, but today we'll be using vegetable stock instead to make it a bit more whole foods. You can definitely still use olive oil if you wish, or if you're transitioning you can use half and half. I added in a 1/4 cup of vegetable stock and blended until the pesto was creamier. Add in more ingredients to adjust it according to your taste. Sometimes I like to add in a little bit more nutritional yeast to get a cheesier flavour. Transfer the pesto sauce into a pot over medium heat. As it heats up, add in the pasta and gently mix to coat the pesto all over it. Slowly spoon in a teaspoon of the pasta water to help loosen up the mixture a bit. I find that using the pasta water instead of tap water helps the sauce to stick to the pasta much better. It looks absolutely delicious. The thing with pesto pasta is that there seems to not be much sauce, but it's actually packed full of flavour. When it's hot, serve into bowls or plates and garnish with more sun-dried tomatoes, crumbled walnuts and more fresh basil leaves. Look at how gorgeously amazing it is, and it's actually so healthy. I came up with this recipe after realising one of my favourite vegan pesto sauces from the supermarket had a lot of oil in it, and I wanted to make something more fresh, more whole foods that tasted amazing. This is actually one of my favourite recipes ever because it's quick to make, super healthy and still tastes delicious. Plus, leftovers are great for lunch the next day. Next up, we have these spicy sweet chili noodles that's perfect for when you don't have time to make something fancy, but you still want a delicious feed. This recipe is great to make use of any leftover veggies in your fridge. My favourite veggies to go in this are zucchini, white button mushrooms, grated carrots, broccoli, and to enhance the Asian flavours, I love adding mung bean sprouts to the dish. In a saucepan over medium-high heat, drizzle some olive oil and add in 1 brown onion that's been diced up. Sauté until it's brown and fragrant, and then add in 3 minced up garlic cloves. Depending on what vegetables you're using, cook the heartier and starchier ones first, like the broccoli, for a few minutes before adding in the zucchini, carrots and mushrooms. I like to add in the bean sprouts when it's nearly done so you still have that freshness in them. We're going to make the sauce next, so let's turn the heat down to low while we do this. In a small bowl, add in 2 tablespoons of smooth peanut butter and dissolve it with some boiled water. Add in a 1/4 cup of sweet chili sauce. Try to buy the ones at the Asian grocery stores if you can. 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sriracha, and an 1/8 teaspoon of rice wine vinegar. You can substitute this for apple cider vinegar as well. Mix together until a sauce forms and adjust the taste to your liking. Sometimes I do like to add in a little bit more peanut butter and sriracha just to let the flavours pop a bit more. Now back to our veggies, turn the heat up to medium again and add in the noodles, preparing them beforehand if you need to. I do enjoy this recipe with hokkien noodles, but using whole wheat or buckwheat noodles are great healthier alternatives. Toss the noodles and vegetables to mix them together and then pour in the sauce. Gently toss to coat the sauce all over the noodles and veggies. What you're going to get are saucy noodles with a delicious flavour combination of peanut butter and sweet chili sauce, and the veggies really does freshen it up. When it's warm, serve in bowls and sprinkle on some sesame seeds, chili flakes, add on some fresh mung bean sprouts, and some fresh coriander. So I don't have kids of my own as of yet, unless you count my fur babies of course, but I made these noodles for my nephews and nieces for their school lunches, and they actually came home asking their parents if Auntie Karen could make their lunches from now on. Safe to say, I was very flattered. You guys are going to love this one. This Greek salad bowl with roasted chickpeas is my go-to if I'm feeling something light and fresh but I don't want just a salad. This plate looks simple but it's superwoman in taste and flavour. The dish takes less than 30 minutes to make, but I'm going to squeeze in an extra 5 minutes to show you how easy it is to make vegan tzatziki at home. You can use canned or dried chickpeas. I like to use canned just so it's easier. Drain and rinse 1 can of chickpeas in a colander. Using several tea towels, dry the chickpeas as much as you can. This step is really important because excess moisture in the chickpeas can make them less crispy when they're roasting in the oven. Don't be afraid to use 2 or 3 tea towels because you really do need to get that water out. Wrap them up, squeeze them, and you might need to take some of the skin that's peeled off as well. Transfer the chickpeas onto a baking tray lined with baking paper and spread them out. Drizzle some olive oil over the top, or you can definitely roast them without any oil if you're going whole foods. Sprinkle over your favourite choice of spices. Personally, I like to use a spice blend of 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 teaspoon of dried coriander. Using a wooden spoon, toss the chickpeas around and season with salt and pepper if you want to. Bake the chickpeas in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes or until the chickpeas are golden brown and crispy. And now, instead of lazing around like these little babies, let's prepare our veggies. Slice the cucumber, cherry tomatoes, and we're going to make some tabbouleh with some chopped red bell peppers, diced red onion, and finely chopped parsley. Add them into a salad tosser or a mixing bowl and then toss them to combine. Squeeze in some lemon juice and season with some salt and black pepper. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make some vegan tzatziki. It's super simple and so healthy. Mince 4 garlic cloves and grate half of a large cucumber onto a tea towel. Spread the cucumber out and then wrap the towel and squeeze out all of the excess water over the sink. There are a lot of ways you can get this excess moisture out, but I do like using the tea towel because it's easy and you can just throw the tea towel into the washer later. Transfer the cucumber into a small bowl. Combine the garlic and add in a 1/4 cup of finely chopped fresh dill. Squeeze in half a lemon and add in 1 cup of coconut yogurt. I find that coconut yogurt tastes the best in this recipe compared to other dairy-free yogurt such as soy. Season this with salt and pepper and there you go. Fresh, homemade, absolutely delicious and ultra healthy vegan tzatziki. When the chickpeas are just about ready, toast up some pita bread on a skillet or you can use a sandwich press. I'm using a griddle pan here just to get that charred look. And when it's ready, let's take the chickpeas out and let's serve. The chickpeas have come out beautifully. It's golden, crispy, and it's so aromatic too. You can serve this however you want, but I like to have the pita bread on the plate and serve the tabbouleh on top. Add the roasted hot chickpeas, and then the cherry tomatoes and the cucumber slices. Serve this with some Kalamata olives, and don't forget the vegan tzatziki. I like to dollop it on top, and I also like to add some lemon slices in as well. On first impression, this meal doesn't look like much, but it's actually quite filling. You can definitely swap out the pita bread for some brown rice or quinoa too, but honestly, who can say no to pita bread? If you're looking to bring some leftovers for lunch, or even just another way to eat this, you can easily wrap it up like a burrito. Just make sure to chop up the veggies a little bit more. And finally, we have these vegan Tikka Masala tofu skewers that are bursting with incredible flavours, and they're so easy to make. As always, make sure to soak the bamboo skewers in cold water so they don't burn in the oven or grill. If you have a tofu press, use it to push out all the excess water in the tofu. I personally don't have one, so I tend to carefully press the tofu with my hands to squeeze out the water. You can also leave something heavy on top of the tofu, like a cast iron, if you're planning ahead. Cut the tofu into small 2 to 3 cm cubes and transfer into a mixing bowl. Add in 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika, 1 tablespoon of ginger powder. You can also use fresh ginger too. 1 teaspoon of tikka masala powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon cumin, 3 minced up garlic cloves, and season with some salt and pepper. Toss the tofu to coat it with all the delicious spices. You can use a spatula or spoon, but I like to use my hands so I can coat it easily and there's less breakage of the tofu. Pour in 1 cup of vegan yogurt and mix again. Set it aside to marinate while you prepare the rest of the skewers, or ideally, to let all the beautiful spices soak into the tofu, marinate it overnight in the fridge. Now cut up some red onions, red and green bell peppers into 4 to 5 cm pieces so they fit onto the skewers nicely, and break the cauliflower into little florets. When the tofu is done marinating, this is my favourite part. Let's assemble the skewers, alternating between the veggies and the tofu. If you have a grill, I recommend using it, but I don't have one, so I'll be baking the skewers in the oven. Place them on some foil on a baking sheet and bake for 25 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius or until they're golden. At the halfway mark, make sure to rotate the skewers so they bake evenly. You can also use a griddle pan set on medium-high heat and cook until they're golden and slightly charred, making sure to turn them every so often. You can also brush or pour the remaining marinade over the skewers for extra flavouring. And now we just have to wait as they cook. I want to introduce you to Mishka, that's my husky cross with shepherd, and that's Lychee, the very fluffy one, the Samoyed. Take the tray out when it's done, and if you need to serve them a bit later, wrap the skewers in foil to keep them warm. The tofu should be beautifully golden and crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. If you're using different vegetables or have cut them a bit larger, just make sure they've cooked along with the tofu. Another thing to note for the tikka masala yogurt marinade is that you can play around with it to get a flavour to your liking. Some days I like to add in a bit of maple syrup to add a sweetness to it, other days I like to add in chili flakes. To make it a little bit more fancy, you can sprinkle over some paprika to get that really beautiful red colour over the golden tofu. I like to serve this with more coconut yogurt and fresh coriander. You can also add in some chili flakes on top as well. These tofu skewers are perfect to bring to a family barbecue as something to share. It's easy to eat, yummy, and so simple to make. And there you go guys, dinners that take 30 minutes or less to make when you want something quick and easy that still tastes delicious, and the healthy aspect of it isn't compromised. I feel like out of the 4 recipes there's a dish for everyone to enjoy and love. If you're looking to be more whole foods, do check out the 4 recipes on my website at embodynourish.com. I have a whole section dedicated to how you can make these recipes even more unprocessed and whole foods. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. If you want to support me further, then don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to my channel. It will help the community grow. If you want to, you can also visit my website at embodynourish.com, where you can find the full recipes to all these dishes and much more. Thank you again so much guys, and I hope you have a good day.